Well, welcome to our 2025 State of the School Address for the Clinton School of Public Service. I'm Evanna Ojeda, a current second-year student at the Clinton School and this year's president of the Student Government Association. And I'm honored to be here today with our dean, Victoria Maria DeFrancesco Soto.
Thank you. I mean, you went full on. You did the full name, like when my mother's mad at me. Thank you for being with me here today. So this is our third annual State of the School. When I started, because I'm a political scientist, as you know, I'm a nerd. I was like, oh, there's a State of the Union. Let's do a State of the School.
We're doing it in a different format than what you've traditionally done in the past. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm feeling very cool. It's like a little podcast format. Shout out to our fabulous comms director, Patrick Newton, who said, you know what, let's try something a little different. So I said, okay.
I've heard that there's some big news coming down. You want to share a little bit with us?
I do. This is incredible. We are going to have a new home. It is now official that we will be moving to the previous Heifer building. Fingers crossed, renovations get done within the next year, where our incoming class for 2026 is going to start there. We're all going to be together. So we love being here in Sturgis. We love our river market, but we're all disjointed. So we're all going to be on one floor. We're going to have access to a cafe, to outdoor seating, to hanging out, like very much a campus feel, but still being connected to the Clinton Presidential Center. So we'll still be coming to events here at Sturgis into the Presidential Library, but we're going to have our own space that's 100% ours.
That is very exciting. I know from the student perspective, we enjoy having the classroom here in Sturgis. We love coming to the reading room here at Sturgis. But having a larger space where students can really connect and have those meaningful conversations, not just amongst one another, but with faculty, with staff, with the foundation, with community partners, is going to be so essential. And speaking on connecting and getting community together, there are some new faces coming to us this year as well, right?
Yes. So bittersweet news, right? We know that two of our longtime community members are retiring. So Academic Dean Susan Hoffpower, I tried to convince her to stay, but she's like, nope, I'm retiring. I've got my list of things to do. The exciting piece of this is that we're welcoming Dr. Megan Jordan, who will be starting as an associate dean. So Dr. Jordan is going to be doing both the academic portfolio that Dean Hoffpower did, but also working more closely with faculty on research. So both that academic student piece in addition to research and helping support our faculty. So she's also starting. And we also have two folks who we welcome to the faculty this academic year, Dr. Andrea Chatong and Dr. Sunny. They are such wonderful colleagues, really pushing us forward in terms of our research. Dr. Sunny is interested in artificial intelligence, in social enterprise. Dr. Chatong, who was a practitioner himself for many years, looking at issues of global development. So bringing that energy into the classroom, but also into the research area. So, with both of them starting the semester and then with Dean Megan Jordan, it's a really powerful piece that we're adding to our Clinton School community.
Not only is there new faculty coming in to support our student body, but it seems like there may be a potential expansion for students as well.
Yes.
Okay.
We do too much good to stay small. I want to ensure that we have that high touch, high impact feel of the cohort piece, but we can push ourselves a little bigger so that we are training more people like you, Ivana, more impact makers. So my goal has been to continue to push the growth of the cohorts. So the cohorts have always hovered around 35. This year, we were able to welcome 49 students. We were just shy of 50. We're looking to replicate that again so that we're in that sweet spot of the 60s where we have two really strong cohorts that then we can continue to see them have impact within our community. So the other big piece of this is scholarship support, because in order for us to attract more high caliber students who want to do good in their community, we need to be able to support them. And we've been really fortunate in being able to secure scholarships. So last year, we got 2 of our largest scholarship gifts to endow scholarship support, and it came from alum. So from early class alum that said, we have benefited so much from the Clinton School, we want to continue giving back, and here is how we are paying it forward. So we have that. We also have folks just giving, and even in smaller amounts, any amount counts in going toward that support. And the last piece in furthering that student, financial stability piece is that we are at a record level of paid capstones. You're doing really serious work, and if we can get our partners to commit to compensating, that is going to be crucial in terms of the student being able to focus on building themselves.
I know that is incredibly impactful for our student community, and so we thank you so much for working so diligently, you and your team, to provide us those opportunities.
Well, it takes a village, as Secretary Clinton says, in terms of our alumni, our local community, our partners who see the work that we do and want to make sure that we replicate that work and we uplift that work. But I've been talking for a really long time. I've been chatting away. So I'm going to pitch this back to you. Tell me what's up. Tell me what's going on with SGA.
Well, thank you for highlighting our student government. Part of what you're saying around the mission of the school continuing to want to expand our student body, that has really been one of the critical elements of our student government. As the student body size continues to grow, it's been really exciting to see how many people have been interested in joining our student government. Specifically, I think of 3 goals that we as a student government association this year have tried to incorporate into all of our initiatives and all of our programming events. The first one, talking around connecting with alumni and building the professionalism of all of our students. One of our executive board members, Jenna Ronquest, spearheaded a career development panel for first and second year students, where we've been able to connect with alumni from Arkansas in the fall semester. And now we've expanded the outreach that we've had and done a second career panel series with alumni residing outside of Arkansas to continue to piece together for students where this degree, where this network can take you in the field of public service. The other piece that's so integral to the curriculum of the school is partnering with the community. And we've been very intentional this year in our student government on doing that. Every year, student government has what we call a community service committee. This year's committee focused very intentionally, though, on surveying students and first finding out what was the largest area of interest for students wanting to do community service. And our current Vice President of Community Relations, Amanda Rodriguez-Smith, connected with Arkansas Food Bank, and we've been able to create a 1-year-long partnership with them, where we've taken cohorts of 7 to 10 students every month to volunteer at the food bank. And so really being intentional of connecting fields of students' interests with opportunities to go out and serve those populations that they want is something that we've been very proud of.
What I love so much about SGA is that you guys are full-time in the business of public service and doing good. And as all of our students and alumni know, especially that first year is brutal, but even the second year too. I mean, you're working your nose to the grindstone with the capstone, but yet still you find time to do all of these things. And I think that just speaks to the spirit of who comes to the Clinton School, where you want to serve. And it is hard work, but it's incredibly rewarding work.
Absolutely. And it's so important to really be able to leverage this unique opportunity, right? This 2-year moment in so many students' lives to not only connect them to further opportunities in their career development, in their professional development, but taking the opportunity while we're here in Little Rock to expand their understanding of what this community has to offer and around the history and the richness of Arkansas.
But you guys also have fun. Please tell me you have fun.
We do.
Because I see in the newsletter you guys are doing outings and kayaking. And so
we've actually also initiated monthly social potlucks where we get together in this informal capacity to just continue to build community. Speaking of community, seems like there's quite a lot that we can look forward to as time progresses at the Clinton School.
Yes. So, that is my true north is community, is the larger Clinton School community, but the communities we find ourselves in and how to make those better places. And one area that we have centered on recently, in recognizing that it is a community we have not served to our fullest capacity, is the veteran community, the spouses of veterans, and even active duty, especially given that we're in such close proximity to military bases. So we, at the Clinton School, were fortunate enough to be selected as one of 12 schools to be part of this special program called Service to Service, where we help support the career goals of veterans, spouses, dependents who want to continue to serve, right? So they may no longer be in uniform, but, at your core, when you serve in the military, you are giving selflessly. And that's what we do at the Clinton School. So trying to connect, or rather build a pipeline of more service-minded folks from the armed services, their families, to come to the Clinton School. We have a number of alum already, and we've been working with them to build this pipeline. So it is called Service to Service. We are looking to enroll the first cohort of this Service to Service program in the fall of this year. Very excited about this, because what's going to happen is the veterans and their spouses, dependents, will be linked to other cohorts from across the country at other schools to then receive further support, further training, further leadership growth as well. So that is a biggie. The other community piece that we've been working on in conjunction with our Dean's Advisory Board, shout out to my Dean's Advisory Board, is in exploring how AI can fuel public service leadership, because it's coming. And look, I don't know much about AI, but I know enough to know that I don't know. So I turn to folks that do know. So I have turned to folks within our Dean's Advisory Board committee. I said, can you please help us form a committee that will convene and scope how public service can better serve through the leveraging of AI? In the classroom, look, I know y'all use ChatGPT, but let's figure out how to use it, productively within the classroom. For the faculty members, they're going to be using artificial intelligence for some aspects of their research, maybe in coding and in terms of our administrative capacities and in terms of helping support nonprofits. So it's figuring out how to do it right. And I'd rather be on the front end of that than trying to play catch up. I am also working with some of our colleagues to guest edit a special issue of the Journal of Public Affairs Education, looking at that intersection of public service and AI, because this is going to be a tool that we all are going to need to know how to harness. So let's be proactive about it. So this is something that has been very much front of mind for me.
Absolutely. I know, at least for myself and for my fellow students, I cannot confirm nor deny to what extent ChatGPT has been used in coursework. But I do know so much of our student body is so interested in really being able to utilize this system to continue pushing forward how we can support our community, right? How do we leverage the tools we have?
It's a tool in the toolkit.
It seems, though, like there's another initiative, another program launching here at the school.
Yeah. And this one is a lot more external facing. Next week, we are having the official launch of our Impact Center. We did a soft launch in the fall, but basically what we were seeing, myself and many of the faculty member here, that nonprofits, some state governmental entities were coming to us because they needed help in evaluation. They needed some research help, some data analysis, both quantitative and qualitative. And in working with Dr. Nicola Driver and some other of our faculty members, we said, let's bring it in-house. Let's create a center where we are working with our community partners in a more intentional way. We've got our Office of Field Service where we're working through practicums and capstones and IPSPs, but sometimes projects don't conform to our 9-month academic schedule.
Right.
Sometimes they're bigger projects that require, kind of some high-level statistical work. So very long story short, we looked around the state. We looked around the region. We're like, no one else is doing this. There's a desert. There is a desert in terms of research-informed evaluation. Let's do it. And the other reason we decided to just go big or go home is because we do have a brand. So we're not just kind of putting ourselves out there. People trust us in the community. We have 20 years of demonstrating our work, our rigorous but community-informed work. So I think the time was now.
And in speaking of 20 years of proven trust and connection with the community, we have an anniversary coming up.
In December, we celebrated the 20th anniversary of the Clinton Presidential Center, of the opening of the Clinton Library. That was probably one of the best parties I've ever been to, right? So here's my view on it. We're just going to keep celebrating. Because 20 years ago, in 2005, we welcomed our first class, the OG Class 1. Back then, the program was a year and a half. And then in 2026 is going to be when we celebrate the graduation of our first class. So you see where we're doing the 3 years of celebration here at the Clinton School. But all of this together is such a meaningful milestone. We're still young, but we're not a baby school anymore. We are rock solid and just really ready to take our impact to the next level, to the next 20 years and beyond.
Mm-hmm. I know myself and the rest of Class 19, we are very excited to be a part of that legacy, right? Very excited for our upcoming graduation.
All right, let's talk graduation. Our commencement speaker is Darren Williams, CEO of Southern Bancorp. Such an extraordinary individual, but also his personal story is so inspiring. He is someone who has been a longtime friend to the Clinton Presidential Center, to the school. We early on did field service projects with Southern Bancorp. So having him here with us, this is just going to be not just an inspirational piece, but just that point of connection of community that is so important to me. Right before graduation weekend, we have our alumni weekend. We're going to be having our first ever Distinguished Alumni Award conferral. So,
oh wow,
yeah, this is a biggie. This has been a couple years in the making. We have just released the nomination, so wanting to formally recognize the service of our alumni community. So we're going to be presenting that award. Nominations are open, so plug for y'all to think about nominating folks who you would want to see honored at this. So we're gonna have a kind of a nice, formal, fancy awards ceremony, and then a really fun Saturday family day.
Earlier, we were talking around this expansion of capstone projects and partnerships that continue to happen with the Office of Field Service. It sounds, though, like there's also an expansion in another form of field service projects.
Yes. We've reached our 100th country. Shout out to Tiffany Jacob, who just over the years has been so instrumental in strengthening our IPSP program, our footprint across the world, and an extra special shout out to Tiffany because this year we were honored with the recognition of the Senator Paul Simon Award for Campus Internationalization. It's a big deal, and I feel so proud that our hard work, our innovative work is being recognized and honored nationally and internationally.
I know Tiffany was an incredible support for myself and for so many other students. So to hear that we have now hit 100 countries in the 20th year of when the doors have opened, that's an incredible feat.
Yeah. All right, Ivana, I've been talking about the what lays ahead, what's coming up. What's coming up in terms of SGA?
You know, we are so excited to see what the future is going to be like, what 2026 will bring for our student government. As you know, my term will be finishing up in May, as will the rest of the executive board. And we are being very intentional around leaving behind connections with other presidential programs and their student government associations. Because much like what we've been talking around, community has so much power when it is united, when it is connected. And so what we are really working towards this year is leaving behind an institutionalized connection with other presidential programs that are passionate around public service so we can continue to have that network of student-to-student support. The other thing that we are excited to look ahead for is our first ever end-of-year student gala. So what we are framing this as student government is an end of academic year from the fall to the spring semester, where we as a student government can bring together the Clinton School faculty, the Clinton School staff, the in-person and the online student communities in this one space and time, where we are going to be giving out graduation awards for executive board members, graduation awards for students who have completed outside volunteer service, and really just building that environment where all of the community can come together and recognize one another on our years-long efforts.
You've got to create the spaces.
Absolutely. SGA is really excited to be able to use that same mentality of now recognizing our student community and recognizing the in-person and the online students for all of their hard work throughout the year.
Yeah. Thank you, Evanna.
Thank you, Dean Soto. Well, now for some really hard-hitting questions for closing out this State of the School address. What are you most proud of from 2024?
The scholarship support that we have secured, a record number of gifts, a record amount. It's just going to keep propelling us forward.
What has been the most memorable moment of 2024?
The 20th anniversary Clinton Presidential Center celebration was that was pretty awesome.
That was very fun.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to in 2025?
I'm looking forward to the renovation starting in our new space and really envisioning that community growth as we transition there.
And now, because we have so much of an expansion of our student population coming from various areas of the world, we're going to do a little bit of a this or that round.
Okay.
Quick round. Okay.
All right.
So, Fidel & Co. or Nexus Coffee?
Fidel.
Pinnacle Mountain or Petit Jean?
I am like the least outdoorsy person. Oh dear. I'll go with Petit Jean.
Okay. Downtown or Soma?
I think I'm more Soma.
Soma or Argenta?
Probably Soma, because the bridge, it's like this mental barrier.
Okay. Downtown Bridge or Big Dam Bridge?
I like the Big Dam Bridge.
Okay. Flying Fish or Gus's?
Flying Fish.
Best breakfast spot?
All right, when I actually have the time to sit down and do that big breakfast, at the corner.
Favorite museum in Little Rock?
The Clinton Presidential Museum.
That makes sense.
I mean.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
And close second, the beautiful new Arkansas Museum of Fine Arts. There's so much. But those are the top two.
Dean Soto, thank you so much for donating your time, treasure, and talent and sharing with us this 2025 State of the School address.
Evanna, thank you so much. Gracias for taking your time, hanging out with me, and getting to talk about something that I love deeply, the Clinton School.